I challenged myself to adding 3 things to this game every day until it was finished. But after 1 week, I realized I made a big mistake. So we find ourselves back in the Unity editor. I actually lost all the day 1 footage, which is fitting because day 1 was basically me fighting the game engine. That was it. I then got to work on making this explosive barrel blow up, and I think it worked out pretty good. You see, programming is hard. All I did was try to make the player character better, and somehow we sunk into the ground and got abducted by aliens. Don't worry, it didn't take me too long to get the player to actually work. It took around an hour. I stopped the bug, but it still wasn't perfect. Right, so we're coming to close on day 2 here. We added plenty of cool features, an explosive barrel, bug fixes, a new level in post-processing. That's like 3 or 4 things. Close enough. So on the 3rd day, I added something called bullet time. When big explosions happen, the game slows down, physics slows down. It looks really cool, and it surprisingly works without a problem. So I also refined the player movement again. It looks a little better. It feels a lot better. Before it was like really static. And then of course I improved the physics a little more, which of course looks amazing. Now I'm getting a little worried because so far everything is working first try, and no bugs. I'm worried. So for day 4, I added in some comments that were suggested here. The first one was an explosive barrel launcher, which is an amazing idea, and I love it. Also, I added an AI, a pretty basic AI, but he can kind of follow the player around and hit him pretty effectively, and he falls apart, which is pretty neat. On day 5, I did a little more tweaking of the physics, as well as improve the AI, how they sort of strafe and they follow the player a lot better, and they can actually shoot the player a little more effectively, and they hit the player more often, which is a lot better. I then added probably the coolest part of the game. I included sliding and weapon switching. You can now switch your weapons and use the rocket to jump out of a slide into a really high area. Really cool looking. And then to finish off the day, I did a little level design. I made a very basic, goofy looking level. It got the job done for a little bit of testing, and it looks okay. Definitely not how the game is going to permanently look, and it's going to change a lot here on out. So for the start of day 6, I had another comment that was suggested to add a bird or a flying enemy. I don't know how to model a bird, so I decided to go for a drone that will go over the player and drop bombs on them. So then the streak of where everything working perfectly fine has come to an end. About 600 lines of code later, I got the drone to do drone stuff. It does drop bombs. It looks pretty good. It decides to abduct me several times. Not fun. Not working. I did shelf this idea for later. Then, of course, I added another suggestion from the comments. This one was a freeze ray. It worked pretty good. It does turn the enemies to a frozen state and then makes them poof. Pretty neat. It also freezes pretty much any other rigid bodies. You can do a lot of cool things with it, but you can also freeze yourself. So now I had to make a decision. It is day 7, and my game just starting to look like Carlson now. Let's be honest. So I decided I had to make something unique about this game, something real, something that makes it stand out. So I decided to go for a different narrative here. So that's what I did for the rest of the day. I decided to delete everything I had and rebuild from the ground up here. So I started working on the little laboratory the player will spawn in, including a little test tube that you can break out of to then start killing the rest of the AI and clearing the west way through the laboratory, hopefully getting to the surface eventually. And the last thing I added for the day was the ability to melee attack the enemies. It works pretty decently. No animations are yet, or models. That was on day 8, which that'll be on the next video there. If you guys did enjoy this, this was a little short here. It wasn't too much, adding 3 things into a game every day, and we get about like an hour of footage, but it works pretty well. This game here is being worked on still every day, and I am posting shorts daily, so if you do want to see the shorts of daily progress, definitely subscribe to see them posted. And if you have any other comments, definitely post them down below, and I will even add them for this video here sometime throughout the week while I work on this. And I'll try to post another long form video here of the week of progress. So other than that, you guys, hopefully you have a good day, and that'll be all.